started off at the ground floor. Y'all niggas brown nose, like y'all on this down low. Game over, what you clown, you're hanging round for. That's like work, don't sweat. I got a bunch of those stocking don't get. Yeah, they think they do it, so they ain't no threat. And I ain't fell, niggas to you whole shit. No sweat. When they try to be running through their whole thing, they think they do it, so they ain't no threat. And I ain't fell, niggas to you whole shit. No sweat.
So we're going to get it started in a second. Let me just invite a couple people in here real quick. Go ahead and get this thing started. All right. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969. Been doing this since 1969. Now we under Commanding General YAHANNA. Hold up. Now we under Commanding General YAHANNA, right? This is ISUPK, Duval County, Priest and Officer Kazak Damar. In here today know what I'm saying? We had the 103rd Library Web West Connect. About to get it in real quick. Y'all bear with me, just trying to make sure that everybody who needs the links can get in. At the helm today, we're going to go over a couple of things. Anybody have any questions, just chime in. If you want to call in, it's 305-985-5453. It's 305-985-5453. Right? We're going to get it in if you have any questions. Hold on one second. One more. All right. This thing cracking. All right, so what we're going to today, right, is some of the basic things about what the scriptures say and also what people believe when it comes to reincarnation, right? So I'll deal with that. If anybody got any questions, we'll deal with those as well. But I'm mainly going to stick to that topic for right this minute. So if anybody have anything they want to chime in, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, I'll just stick to the topic. We'll get it in. All right, so where we going to start with reincarnation? What I would do is I look in just a regular Google search, right, of reincarnation, see what comes up. By definition, reincarnation means the rebirth of a soul in a new body. Let me read it again. Reincarnation, by definition, is the birth of a soul in a new body. So now you hear people talk about reincarnation, hear people talking about, a person coming into a new body. Some people believe that you can actually come back as a dog or a pig or a cow, so on and so forth. In Hinduism, Buddhism, Dharma, all these different things, right? I'll give you a little brief synopsis. This is via Wikipedia, right? So don't take it as, the fact. But what I want you to understand is there are different doctrines out in the world that has something to do with reincarnation. So when you hear the word, you automatically get spooky. Think about this right here, right? Reincarnation. This is from Wikipedia. Also known as rebirth or transmigration, is the philosophical or religious concept that the non-physical essence of a living being begins a new life in a different physical form or body after biological death, right? So that's similar to what I read by definition. The only difference I would say is that people who understand reincarnation according to what the Bible says understand that you cannot come back as a dog or a cow or anything else. What you must come back as is a person, meaning if you were a man, you're coming back as a man. If you're a sister, you're going to come back as a sister, right? In your same lineage that you was in before. So if you're a black man, you're not coming back as a white man. You're a Chinese man, you're not coming back as a white man. You know what I'm saying? If you're a African, you ain't coming back as a Chinese man. You're not coming back as a dog, a fish, none of that. A table, none of that. What reincarnation was called is regeneration. Let me see if it's in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary real quick. No, we scholars got to look this thing up. Let me even see if it's in here. Regeneration. Real quick. I ain't got my troopers in here, so I'm be doing some of this work myself. All right, regeneration. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Regeneration has at its basic idea to be born again or to be restored. Though the word is actually used only twice in the New Testament, that's Matthew 19 and 28, Titus 3 and 5, many synonymous passages suggest its basic meaning. Related terms are born again, born of God, quickened, and renewed. Right? Regeneration is the spiritual change wrought in people's heart in which their inherently sinful nature is changed and by which they are enabled to respond to God in faith. Regeneration is therefore an act of God through the immediate agency of the Holy Spirit. Now, this is all they going into, right? So regeneration is in the Bible, right? But the word reincarnation, I don't believe is there. So let me look for it. I ain't never seen it in there. So what are they talking about when they're talking about reincarnation? When we're talking about reincarnation, what we're talking about is more so by definition what we said earlier. By definition, when we looked up reincarnation, is a spirit, the spirit, right, coming back after death into a different body. And that's what we're talking about. Now, can I substantiate this with the scriptures, or are we just making this thing up? Let's see. Where we'll start at, I don't know what just happened. Where we'll start at, let's see where we want to start at. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1, right? Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. Let me go there real quick. And if you're with me, you know what I'm saying? Anybody want to call in to the conference line? It's 305-985-5453. We can actually dialogue a little bit other than that. You know what I'm saying? You could just type anything, any questions you might have in the chat room. All right. See if we can get there. Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. And verse 9, right? Start Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. Yeah, we got anybody on the line? Nope. The thing that hath been, it is the thing which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Now, y'all heard that plenty of times in the Christian church. People brought out this saying there's no new thing under the sun, right? So there's no new thing under the sun. Then how is there going to be a new iPhone coming out, or a new pair of kicks, or a new PlayStation 6, or so on and so forth, right? 2021 Bentley, whatever it is. This is not talking about everything in the earth. This is talking about a thing. So when it's talking about, let me read it again. The thing that have been, this thing that they talking about, not everything, but this particular thing that have been, right? It is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Now, how you know that what I was just saying when I was just talking about like a phone or a new computer or whatever the case may be? Let's read verse 10. Is there anything where it may be said, see, this is new. It have been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Key part of that is there's no remember. I want y'all to remember that. There is no remembrance of former things, neither is there any remembrance of things to come. What in the world is this talking about? What is this thing? Anybody know what this thing is? Yeah, I'm sure y'all probably heard it if you're in the truth, right? Salaki, 1 second. I'm sure y'all already heard that if you're in the truth. Let's go to the scriptures to see what this thing is, right? Want to leave no type of what we call it? Kazak said this or whatever the case may be. Let's see what the Bible said. This is Ecclesiastes, the same book, different chapter, chapter 6. It's going to tell you what this thing is. That which have been is named already. Remember, it said this thing has been and it shall be. Let's go back to 1. It said the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there's no new thing under the sun. Now, Ecclesiastes 6 says, that which have been, remember that's the same exact way 1 and 9 started off, is named already. Oh, it's got a name. This thing has a name. And it is known that it is man. That's what it says in the Bible. It's not me making up nothing. That's what it says. The thing that, Salakia, that thing which has been named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he, seeing there be many things that increase vanity. What is man the better? So he was breaking this thing down, and he's saying that this thing that has been, that shall be, in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, that it is known that it is man. All right? So y'all got to follow me for one time. Now, how do we get from what I'm talking about now to reincarnation? Well, you have to dig a little bit deeper into the scriptures. What is the premise? What I'm telling you is that the Most High have created spirits, placed them in a physical body, and when they die, he takes those spirits and uses them and places them back in another spiritual body. That's the premise. Now, does the Bible substantiate that? Let's see. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7. This is talking about when you die. Ecclesiastes 12 and 7, right? Walk with me. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, right? From dust you came, and from dust you shall return. This is the man part of it. But there's another part of a man that nobody really like to talk about and don't understand, and that's your spirit. So when you die, this is verse 7. This is the part we see. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Wait a minute. So you got the dust going in the ground, right? Dust returning to the earth, and the spirit returning to God who gave it in the first place. Where did the spirit come from? These spirits come from God, right? So now, where's the spirit going back when you die? Is it going to hang around and watch over people like they taught us? Is it going to be, what they say? Is it going to grow wings? Is it going to be what they call it when you got a haunted house? Is it going to like just slam doors shut in the house, scare people? What is it talking about? Right? It's not what it's talking about. What happens is your spirit, when you die, goes back to the Most High. Right? So explain this. Let me look it up because I know a lot of people be talking about this all the time. This is a scripture that comes out all the time. Hebrews 9 and 27. Let's get it. If there is reincarnation, which is what we saying that the Bible says, right? Then what about this? Hebrews 9 and 27. Let me read it. All right. Hebrews 9:27 says, and as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. Wait a minute. Hebrews 9:27 says, it is appointed to man once to die, and after this, the judgment. So how y'all gonna sit there and say that a person could die and come back in the earth? That means he died twice, right? Can a man die twice? Anybody? Resign. Tawashab. Hey, y'all call into the conference line. I'm gonna need y'all to help me out with some scriptures if y'all could. At least one of y'all, and just let me know in the chat when you're there. All right. Can a man die more than once? Scripture in Hebrews 9 says no. It is appointed to a man once to die, and after that, the judgment. Right? Or so how in the world would a person be able to die more than once? It don't happen. The scriptures is right. But as far as with reincarnation is concerned, right, we're not talking about the same person, meaning like right now, I'm Kazak, right? My mama named Regina, my daddy named Eddie, right? I'm born of them people. I look like I look. I grew up in the north side, Jacksonville, right? Born in Palaga, Florida, whatever. This person will never live again. However, the spirit that is within this person has already lived before. So it's appointed to a man once to die, right? You, whoever you are, whatever your name is, whoever your parents is, you don't get to live again. But if we go back to the scriptures and what we just brought out, right? Go back to the scriptures and what we just. All right, no sweat, warrior. Go back to the scriptures and what we just brought out in Ecclesiastes, right? This is what happens. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Right. So now that's a man dying, right? The dust is going back to the dust, and the spirit is going back to the Most High. So how in the world are we teaching that spirit comes back within the earth when it says it's appointed to a man once to die, and after that, the judgment? Now, they always told us when you die, you go stand before the Lord and you get judged, and he tells you whether you're going to heaven or hell. Now, this is a whole nother class. Heaven and hell is not what you've been told it was. Therefore, the judgment can't be what you told it was. Your judgment is right now on this earth. The things that you do right now, the Lord is going to judge you for, rather in this lifetime or the next. How can I prove that? Give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 16, right? Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. It's going to break this down. How in the world can a person die once and come back within this earth when it's saying in Hebrews 9, is that 9 and 27? No, let me make sure I got it out. Yeah, Hebrews 9 and 27, that it's appointed unto a man once to die, and after that, the judgment. What we would have to be saying is that the judgment is here on earth. Now, does the Bible back that up? Let's see. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. What's under the sun? I don't know. Go outside, look up. You'll see the sun. So if the sun is up, what's under the sun? Right? Simple enough, right? Yeah, Razan is waiting on me to come on. I'm gonna go ahead and call in right now if you're ready. I was just waiting on you to. Right. The earth is up under the sun. That's correct. Slack it. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to get the trooper in here so I can get me some reading. Now, if this is heaven, what he talking about, the place of judgment or judgment day, you standing before the Most High and all of this other stuff, then why is he saying judgment is up under the sun? How do we know this is not heaven or hell? This is what he said. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. All right, so this is a place up under the sun where wickedness is, right? And the place of righteousness. Wait a minute. That iniquity was there. How in the world is the place of judgment got wickedness there, and it's also the place of righteousness, and there is iniquity? That means that this place may be somewhere just like now in here, where you have wickedness and iniquity here, and you also have the righteousness of the men and women that follow the Most High. This thing is right here on the earth. That's what he's talking about. So your place of judgment happens within the earth. How does it happen? Because once you die, flesh goes back to the earth, like it said in Ecclesiastes 12. Spirit goes back to the Most High, right? And that spirit is judged by the Most High. Let me show you what he do with it. Psalms 104 and 29. Trooper Razan, you on the line? Are you in a position to read up?
Sir. Is it Psalms 104?
Psalms 104, verse 29. Any other anybody else that's able to call in, you can call in on the conference line. It's 305-985-5453. It's 305-985-5453. All right. That way, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and read it. Go ahead and start at verse 29 for me. Tell them where you at.
Sir. Psalms chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, turn to their dust.
Stop right there. So this is Psalms 104, chapter 104, verse 29. He says, thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath. Who is the thou here? The thou is the Most High. This is what he's talking about, right? The Most High. The Most High hideth his face. They are troubled. Thou taketh away their breath. Who taketh away their breath? The Most High. They die and return to their dust. This is the same thing we just read in Ecclesiastes Chapter 12, verse 7. I'll read it again. Then shall the dust return to the earth that it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it, right? And they return to the dust. Here's the other part of Ecclesiastes 12, verse 30. Go ahead and read that.
Okay.
You got it up?
You said Ecclesiastes verse 12?
No. I want you to keep reading where you was at. Psalms 104, verse 30. No sweat. But anyways, what's going on is this is talking about death as well, and what happens when you die, right? So he says, thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou taketh away their breath, they die and return to their dust. Then what happens? Read verse 30.
Okay. Psalm chapter 104, verse 30. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
Wait a minute. What these two things got to do with each other, and why are they coming back to back like that? He talking about somebody being troubled, the Lord taking their breath, they dying and returning to the dust. Now in verse 30, he say, thou sendest forth thy spirit. They are created. Wait a minute. And thou renewest the face of the earth. What is this talking about? What this is talking about is the operation that the Most High uses as far as these same spirits that was created thousands of years ago coming back into the earth as a baby all over again to do this thing again. Now, are you the same person? No. Your mama gonna name you this person. Your daddy gonna be this person. It's not gonna be the same. Mama, daddy, you might not look the same, but you will be in the same lineage as when you came the first time. Right? Thou sendest forth thy spirit. They are created. Where did the spirit go? Back to the Most High who gave it. He's sending it back within the earth. Now they're created, and he reneweth the face of the earth. Right? Go ahead to verse 31.
Okay. Psalm chapter 104, verse 31. The glory of the Most High shall endure forever.
There it is.
The Most High shall rejoice in his work.
There it is right there. All right. So the Bible always is talking about what happens when you die. This thing that has been is the thing that shall be. And we know that this thing is man, right? There's no new thing under the sun. So there's no new man under the sun or no new spirit under the sun. It's just the same spirit. When you die, it goes back to the Most High, and he sends it forth and reneweth the earth, is what we just read in Psalms 104. Where else is this in the Bible? Are we making this up? Let's go to Malachi chapter 4 real quick. Malachi chapter 4. Let's go to verse 5. Anybody else on the line besides Rizan? All right, no sweat. I'll read it. That's Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. You got it? Go ahead.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Most High.
Behold, this is a prophecy. The Lord is saying, behold, I will send you Elijah. Now, whether you believe Elijah was dead or you believe he was translated or he never seen death, he was not in the earth when this prophecy was being given, right? So what is he talking about? If Elijah's not here, how is he going to send Elijah? Keep reading now.
Verse 6. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Right? So he's talking about sending Elijah back in the earth and what he was going to do, right? These are the things. So like, give me Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if Elijah was able to come back into the earth again, right? Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elijah must come? Why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come?
Why is this? All right, so this is the disciples of Christ asking him, well, why then say the scribes that Elias, that's what it says there, but we know that's in the Greek, right? It's a transliteration of Elijah. Why did the scribes say that Elijah must first come? Go ahead to verse 11.
Verse 11. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
There it is right there. So Christ says back to them, but I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not. Why didn't they know him? Because he ain't look like Elijah. He ain't had the same parents as Elijah. He was nowhere in the time of Elijah. How can you go remember him? There's no remembrance of former things. Neither is there a remembrance of things to come. Hopefully y'all following along. Just let me know. But have done unto him whatsoever they listed, likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake to them of John the Baptist. So, according to Matthew chapter 17 and verse 13, Elijah came back into the earth as John the Baptist. This would be the same spirit inhabiting a different body. Everybody with me? All right, cool. Matthew chapter 11. Matthew chapter 11. Let's get verse 11.
Sir, which verse?
11. 11 and 11.
Come, sir. Matthew chapter 11, verse 11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
Uh-oh, there it is right there. Among men that are born of women. That cuts the doctrine right there that Christ, they say Christ say the one born of a woman, right? They say that's how you know that he ain't had no daddy, because it say born of a woman. But right here it's talking about John the Baptist. And what it say? What it say? Read it again.
Come. Among them that are born of women.
Oh, among them that are born of a woman, there has not risen one greater than John the Baptist, right? Go ahead.
Okay. Notwithstanding, he that is the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. That's
a whole nother topic for another day of why Christ would say that, right? Keep going.
Come. Verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force.
Right.
For all the prophets in the law prophesied until John.
So all the prophets and the law prophesied unto John. What does that mean? That means all the prophets that came before, we was living based on their prophecies. The law is what told us what was going to happen. The law is what told us where we was at in this story. Because remember, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all of these prophets had already spoke of what was going to happen in the end of the days, what was going to happen. Remember in Malachi, that was a prophecy that the Lord said he was going to send Elias or Elijah, right? From the day of that great day or whatever, however it said, right? So he's saying all the prophets and all of that is what you had to go by. There was not men in the earth that was prophesying the way that they did back in the day up until John, right? There was a time where we was just living off the prophecies that we already had. What prophecies we already had? Those brothers that prophesied in the Old Testament, so-called Old Testament. All right, read verse 14.
And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
There it is right there. If you will receive it, this, he's talking about John the Baptist, is Elijah, which was to come. He that have ear, let him hear. Everybody got two ears on their head. What does he mean by he that have ears, let him hear? He that hears this, let him understand what's going on. Right? This man is back in the earth again as John the Baptist. This is regeneration or reincarnation in the Bible. He ain't come back as no frog. He ain't come back as no white man. He ain't come back as no girl who was a boy coming back as a girl. None of the stuff that you've been taught about reincarnation is real. The reality is that the Lord is just taking the same spirit that was in a body. Once that you die, that body goes back into the grave. Spirit goes back to the Most High. He uses it to replenish the earth. He uses the spirit of Elijah to in John in order to do his will in that particular time. All right. Somebody came in on the conference line. Hey, shalom. Hey, so let me get John chapter 9, verse 1. We'll get some more into it. It's the only time. I'm going to show you that Christ and his disciples, this was common knowledge. This ain't nothing that like new. The only reason you don't know about this is because they told you you was going to hell because you was a sinner. When you die, you going to hell or you going to heaven. It be at somebody's funeral, they always saying that like the person is in heaven. Technically, if we go by Ecclesiastes Chapter 12, technically they could be right for everybody because all spirits go back to the Most High, but heaven and hell are conditions on earth. Remember, I saw in the place of judge under the sun, the place of judgment. So your judgment, your heaven and hell is right here on earth and it's waiting for you when you get back. When you get put in that baby, you might come in here rich. Parents got money. You ain't wanting for nothing. They rulers. You're a king. You're a prince, so on and so forth. Or you could come back in a broad that cannot stop smoking crack till she have you, or that was going to go and aboard you, or who ain't in no position to do nothing, and you just got to deal with coming up and being raised in the ghetto, fully oppressed by your oppressor. Now, how can I prove that this was taught by Christ and the disciples and this was common knowledge? Give me John 9 and 1.
John 9 and 1 commentary. John chapter 9, verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Now you got to understand this. This man that they saw was blind, right? Since he was born. From his birth, he was blind. Keep that in mind. Keep going.
Verse 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
Now listen to the question that they asking. Who sinned, him or his parents, that he was born blind? Tell me how this man could sin before he was born that caused him to be born blind. While you marinate on that, I'll take you back to what we brought out earlier, Ecclesiastes Chapter 3 and verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So where was this man to be judged at? Under the sun. Where's under the sun? Right here on the earth. So if he sent his spirit back in another body, that's possible that this man could be judged for a sin that he's done and sent back in the earth born blind. Y'all see why they can even ask that question? Because it was common knowledge. And anytime Christ, right, had an opportunity to correct them of something that they didn't know about what was going on, he always did it. Well, did he correct them there for asking a question? He should be like, how in the world could he sin before he was born? No, he answered them the question. Go ahead and read the next verse.
Verse 3. Yahushua answered, neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of the power should be made manifest in him.
There you go right there. That's it right there. That's all I need. Neither this man or his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be manifest in him. So what was the purpose of him being blind? It wasn't a judgment for him sinning in the past life, even though that's possible. Because Christ could have easily said, now y'all know a man cannot be judged before he was born. Instead, he just answered the question and he told them the reason why this man was blind is so that the words of the works of the Most High can be manifest. I'm going to show you that Christ taught it. Now, there's a little bit of a difference when they're talking about regeneration, right? And reincarnation. Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier you said that it was common knowledge. When you're saying that it was common knowledge, did you mean like all of the Levites taught that it was common knowledge that reincarnation was possible, or that Christ was teaching it and it was common knowledge to them, to Christ's disciples?
Well, I was teaching that it was common knowledge to Christ and his disciples. You can assume that it was common knowledge before then, because Christ didn't teach nothing that wasn't in the scriptures. But it doesn't talk about in the scriptures during Moses' time or the Levites or whatever the case may be, that they even discussed these things that happened after death. Their job was laying down the law and making sure that the Israelites followed it. So for me to say that it was there, that would be being presumptuous or assuming something, right? But I am showing you right here that they asking him who sinned, that him or his parents, that he was born blind. So that means they knew he could sin before he was even born. How is that possible if he didn't live before then? Did I answer your question? Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you had the prophets that came after that. You know what I'm saying? And the things that happened after that, like Ecclesiastes, where he's breaking this down. I'm not sure if that information was in the earth before Ecclesiastes. I just know what records we have now to put it all together and see what it was talking about. All right, no problem. So give me Matthew 19 and verse 27. Thawashab, you able to read? Thawashab can't read.
No, God, I can read too.
I can let the trooper read. He's doing a hell of a job.
Okay, you get down. We're going.
Yeah, just feel free to chime in whenever you want to, Thawashab, if you got anything. Matthew 19, 27. You got it for me out? Now, what we talking about is a brother saying, right, that after you die, your spirit goes back to the Most High, and he sends it back within the earth and replenishes the earth with this spirit, and you come back as a child, as a baby, and you do it over again. Now, remember, we already dealt with it is appointed in Hebrew 9. It is appointed for a man once to die, and after that, the judgment. We've shown you in the Bible that the judgment is under the sun. The place of judgment, they had righteousness or wickedness was there, and righteousness was there, and iniquity was there, all in the same place. That's right here on earth, right? And it comes back and replenishes. That was Psalms 104, where it shows that he hideth his face, takes away their breath, spirit goes back to him, body goes back to the dirt, and he sends it back in and renew. All right, so just so in case you came late and you had a question, it's already in here if you need to, back up the video or whatever the case may be, right? So this is Christ talking to his disciples, and they ask him a question. Go ahead.
Okay. Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
All right, so here's Peter asking his question. We done left everything. Remember, Christ came and got the brothers off their slavery, told them to drop them nets. Like, just imagine somebody you never met before coming to your slavery and telling you, yo, just walk off this job and follow me. I got you. Don't worry about it. Right? Just walk off this slavery and follow me. No, like, nigga, you crazy. I got bills to pay. I got things going on. But them brothers did it. So now Peter is asking, like, what is our reward for doing this? Peter's saying, behold, we have forsaken all. You know, they people was pissed at her. Oh, you done quit that good job to go follow this dude. What shall we have then? It's a good question. Let's see what Yahushua says. Go ahead.
Oh, come. Verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration
right
of
now,
the Son of Man shall
right
sit.
now. Does it say right now? These who have followed me right now. Is that what it says?
Sir, it says in the regeneration.
In the regeneration. All right. So it's a specific time that he's saying. Ye which have followed me in the regeneration. Go ahead.
Come. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
Did Christ sit on the throne of his glory before he was killed or murdered by his oppressors?
Sir.
He didn't sit in the throne of his glory. He was hung on a tree. Right? That's not sitting on the throne of your glory. That's why he said what he said in the regeneration. He knew he had to die. He knew they were going to die. But that spirit was going to live on. And their judgment, if you're doing something righteous within the earth and you die, your judgment within the earth when you come back is going to be what people call heaven or rulership within this earth. Right? In the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, go ahead.
Come. Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
You shall also sit upon 12 thrones. So you mean to tell me if you following Christ, right? You doing what the kings say to do, you get to sit on the throne too? If you forsake everything to go and follow Christ, you get to sit on the throne too. Sounds pretty good, right? Here's the problem though. Nobody's willing to forsake all they wants and their desires in this life to wait on a throne that comes after they died. This is why the Most High blesses people during the life that you live in now for the things that you do. Me changing my life to become a person that really truly follows Christ and keeps the law, statutes, and commandments keeps me from a death that's happening all around me every day. When you're talking about life and death, doesn't mean you ain't gonna die. You're talking about everlasting life. That mean you're not gonna die? Or does that mean you get all the blessings that come along with serving the Most High? If we got time, I might go into that, right? Right now, what we're talking about is Christ saying that they gonna sit on thrones in the regeneration, meaning when they come back. None of them had thrones during the time when they lived. Go ahead and read the next verse.
Verse 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or land.
Golly, they forsake all of that. They forsake all of that, brothers, sisters, mamas, wives, children, and they had land. They wouldn't worry about none of that. For my name's sake, not to go chase your rap career, not to go be a drug dealer, not to go to prison. No, if you have forsaken your house, to do anything other than to follow the King, to follow Christ, to serve the Most High, this is not a promise that's for you. But for everybody who have forsaken all of this for my name's sake, for Christ's sake, to serve the Most High in Christ, what does it say is going to happen?
Oh God, shall receive an hundredfold and shall inherit everlasting life.
Wow. You shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. What that mean? You gave up one house, you get 100 houses. You gave up one mama, you got 5 mamas. You gave up your children, you got 100 children. Uh-oh. You forsake one wife, you got 100-fold. Salakia. Mark chapter 12. Let's move on. I don't want to get stuck there too much. Now, and during crisis time, right? You had the Pharisees, you had the Sadducees, you had the Ebionites, you had it's another sect. You had all of these different sects that was teaching about God, right? And Christ used to deal with the Pharisees and the Sadducees majority of the time. Reason being is because the Pharisees was placed over the children of Israel by the Roman government as babysitters, right? And they did it as judges who carried out the law. So here we go with a scripture that's going to prove that there was a thing where some people believed, right? Some people believed that there was an afterlife where you came back into the earth, and some people did not. And this is Christ dealing with them, trying to be smart about how they was addressing that. So give me Mark chapter 12, verse 18. Anybody got some questions? They can type it in the chat. I'll answer them. Or they can call in 305 985 5453. All right. Go ahead with scripture. Tell them where you at.
I'm gone. Mark chapter 12, verse 18. Then come unto him the Sadducees, which say there is no resurrection. And they asked him, saying, Master, Moses wrote unto us, if a man's brother die and leave his wife behind him, and leave no children, that his brother should take his wife and raise up seed unto his brother.
So stop right there. Sadducees do not believe in reincarnation. They do not believe a man comes back. So this is a question it's like if I said, okay, you come back, you judge, and you know what I'm saying, right? They're going to ask this question. According to Moses wrote to us, if a man brother die and leave his wife behind, right, and they don't have no children, that his brother should take his wife and raise seed unto his brother. So now, let's say your brother's wife dies, you take her, and you're supposed to raise up a son in his name in honor of your brother so that his lineage continues on, right? Now, keep going. Here's verse 20. Now here's the story that they're going to place. And this is how extra they want to get to make their point. Go ahead.
Now there were 7 brethren, and the first took a wife, and dying left no seed.
This is exactly what Moses was talking about. Go ahead.
And the second took her, and died, neither left he any seed. And the third likewise. And the 7 had her.
I mean, just thinking about that don't sound good, but here's the point they was trying to make. All 7 of these brothers had to take this wife to try to raise up a seed because they all died and she had no sons for none of them, right? So it just kept going. One died, the other one completes the law by taking the sister and taking care of her and trying to produce a seed. All 3 of them, all 7 of them had her, right? Keep going.
Oh God. Verse 22. And the seven had her, and left no seed. Last of all, the woman died also.
Keep going.
Verse 23. In the resurrection, therefore, when they shall rise, whose wife shall she be of them? For the seven had her to wife.
All right, so okay. So all of them had the sister, right? And then she died. So in reincarnation, therefore, when they shall rise, this is the question they're asking. Whose wife shall she be of them? Because all seven of them married her. All right. Shalom says, we have Mark 12. Y'all got them? Y'all need one? Y'all good? All right, cool. Mark 12 and
verse 23, sir.
Verse 23. All right. So, anybody on the line know the answer to the question, or you can type it in the chat. Whose wife would she be? I'm sure y'all heard this story before.
Sir.
Who is that?
I was Marshall Mall.
Go ahead, Marshall Mall.
She would be neither one of them.
You just giving your house shot answer, man. You cheating. In the resurrection, whose wife would she be? These was her husbands on the earth, right? He said none of them. Why? Remember everything we went over, right? Ecclesiastes was talking about how when you die, your flesh go back to the earth and your spirit go back to the Most High who gave it. In Psalms 107, it talks about the Most High taking away their breath, they dying, spirit going back to the Most High. He's sending it back in the earth and renewing the face of the earth, right? Remember we talked about Christ when they asked him, this man was born blind. Who sinned, him or his mama? How did he sin before he was born? Remember we talked about the place of judgment. Now, automatically, if you're talking to a Christian or anybody that knows the Bible remotely based on its perspective, and you start talking about reincarnation, they're going to bring up that Hebrews that I brought out, Hebrews 9:27. It's appointed to a man once to die, and after that, the judgment. This is the reason we showed that the judgment was in the earth, under the sun. There was a place of judgment, right? That's in Ecclesiastes, right? So where we at now? I asked the question, why was she none of their wife? Go to verse 24. That's where we at, right? Go ahead and read.
Mark chapter 12, verse 24. And Yahushua answering said unto them, Do ye not therefore err? Because ye know not the scriptures, neither the power of God.
And Yahushua answering said unto them, Do ye not therefore err? Meaning, because you know not the scriptures, neither the power of God. He's basically asking them why they so far off with what they doing. What is the reason why y'all don't understand what's going on, or that already know the answer to this question? It's because you don't know the scriptures, or because you don't know the power of God? Go ahead and read verse 25.
Verse 25. For when they shall rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven.
Stop right there. I heard a dude, I just want to throw this out there. This is a thing, right? That there is not going to be no sex in heaven. This is what this means. That is a doctrine. Listen, I wouldn't get too crazy, right? But I don't want to go. I want to go. Here's what you got to understand about, first of all, marriage, sex. There is a right and a wrong way to do it. The wrong way to do it is to sin against God, to break a law, to do it with just anybody. But if you are a man, there is absolutely nothing wrong with your wife. If you are a woman, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your husband. I don't know where this doctrine came from, but they said this means when he says, for when they shall rise from the dead, they shall neither marry nor be given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven. Right? Anybody want to elaborate on what this means? No? Yes? Anybody on the line want to elaborate? Who was that, Marsha Moore? You ain't got the answer, Sway. Go ahead.
Because angels are spirits. They don't get married and stuff.
Okay, you're right. That's what he was talking about, right? You right. Okay, give me a little bit more. Angels, this is what the brother said. Angels are spirits. They don't get married, right? Go ahead. Keep going.
So, but that was the best I can do. But I thought you were saying.
No, that is what he's saying, but it's more to it than just that. So what does he mean when he says, for when they shall rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven? Go ahead, sis.
Does it mean because the spirit goes back to the Most High, like so now they're not I don't know.
Go ahead. You was about to say something. Marsha Moore was on it. Go ahead. Actually, you was on it too, sis. You just stopped. Go ahead.
Because when you rise again, like everything, it's like you start over in the regeneration. Not you don't.
Okay, so what's rising? What's rising?
It's like
when you die, what rises?
Your spirit.
Your spirit. Your flesh don't rise. Right? Let me read it again.
Okay.
This is Ecclesiastes Chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth. This is when you die, right? Your flesh returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So what's rising from the dead? What's not dead? First of all, what's dying? Go ahead.
The flesh is dying.
You dying. The man, the woman, right? You dying. It is appointed once for a man to die. And after that, the judgment. How is he going to get judged when he dead? Because it's not your physical body. It's not you. It's not whatever your name is now that's getting judged. It is an internal being that lives in you. That is your spirit. That is what lives forever. That is what the Lord uses to regenerate and repopulate the earth and renew the earth. That is what gets judged, right? Your spirit for what you did while you were in your body. So when they coming back, rising from the dead, what he was saying is she wasn't married to none of them because her spirit, right? Her spirit is the only thing that's coming back. That flesh that all 7 of them men had is dirt. It's going back to the dirt. She coming back as a child, a baby, and ain't thinking about marrying or who she was married. Remember, there's no remembrance of former things, neither is there remembrance of things to come. So how's she going to be married to anybody? That spirit was just like an angel. I know sex is spiritual, but your spirit never had sex. Everybody understand? I know. Anybody got a question on it? Anybody unclear? All right. Give me 26, verse 26. Go ahead.
Mark chapter 12, verse 26. And as touching the dead, that they have rise, have ye not read in the book of Moses, how in the bush the power spake unto him, saying, I am the power of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. Ye therefore do greatly err.
All right. So as far as the dead, right? Got a question? So as far as the dead, right? That they rise. Have you not read in the book of Moses how in the bush God spoke to him, saying, I am the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. Now, when he's saying this to Moses, all of these dudes are dead. When we say it right now, Kazak Damar, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yashala, right? Yahawada or Judah is not here by that name within the earth, but his children are here. Right? Israel or Jacob is not here within the earth, but his children are here. You live through your seed. This is how we know what I said earlier. You come back through your same seed. If you was a man, you're going to be a man. Don't let the stud tell you that she was a boy in her former life, and this is the reason why she is what she is. It don't work like that. You come back through your same seed. That spirit that was within the earth comes back because it never dies. So when we speaking of these people, when we calling our oppressor Esau, or when we calling ourselves the children of Jacob, the children of Abraham, it's because those spirits are within the earth right now. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. This is what they did not understand. Everybody follow me, right? So is this just something we making up? Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 14 real quick. See if we making this up. 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 34. Mashamar, you can read? Yo, let me get that.
Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together.
I got something else. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Hold on. That's what everybody got the same thing? Mine starts therefore. Mine starts therefore. Second Ezra's up.
I think he got 13 instead of 14.
Oh, he got chapter 15. Yeah, chapter.
He got chapter 13, I think. Like, I'm on chapter 13. Say chapter 13?
I say chapter 14.
Oh, Salaki. Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your heart.
Here we go right here. Like, if you can subdue your own understanding, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding. Right? If you can just get out your own mind for a minute, change your mind. What do you mean change your mind? I thought it was good to do this, that, the other, because that's what I like to do. But the Most High told me not to do it that way, not even to think about it that way. Therefore, if you will be able, Slakia, therefore, so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your heart, what's going to happen? Keep reading.
Come. You shall be kept alive.
You shall be kept alive. What's life? What's death? Remember, I told y'all what it is, right? Life is the blessings that come along with keeping and following what the Lord told us to do. Death is what came to us by Adam. There's a physical death, which means we dying, is what we're talking about today, right? And then there's also the curses, which is the judgment that comes after that for the things we've done in this life. You shall be kept alive. Keep going.
And after death,
shall
obtain mercy.
You shall obtain mercy. Now, how in the world are you going to obtain mercy after death? Because it's appointed to a man once to die, and after that, the judgment, right? We read that. So let's see if Second Ezra is saying something different. After death, you shall obtain mercy. Go to verse 35.
For after death shall the judgment come.
Wait a minute. That's exactly what it was saying in the other one. After death, here comes the judgment. Now that means, according to the Christians, you get to go stand before God and he tell you whether you're going to heaven or hell. But remember what we read in the scriptures. I saw the place of judgment under the sun. And righteousness was there and iniquity was there, right? And wickedness was there. That was all talking about the earth. So after death shall the judgment comes. Where does the judgment come? On the earth. How do we know? Read it from the top again, verse 35.
For after death shall the judgment come.
Mm-hmm. When is the judgment going to come?
When we shall live again.
What do you mean? Read it again.
When we shall live again.
After death, the judgment comes here on earth when we shall live again. You can keep going.
And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
There it is right there. So then shall the names of the righteous be manifest. In other words, if you was righteous when you came here last time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do the same thing in this life. Unless your judgment for the things that you did in your last life, somebody way stayed in your spirit and you know better than to ever try the Lord again. I ain't doing that no more. This my mama for real? This really my mama. This my daddy? I don't want to do that no more. I need better ones. I need better ones next time. I don't want to be a crack baby. I don't want to be aborted before I can get out the womb. Lord have mercy. All right. Everybody understand? All right, Hebrews 11. I don't know if I want to go to that one. It might be a little too meaty. I'll go to it. I'm going to go to it and ask the question. See who done heard this breakdown before, right? Hebrews 11, verse 17. Let's go there real quick. Anybody already heard this breakdown that's on the line? All right. I know my Shamar done heard it. Verse 17. Who got it? Go ahead, Razan.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son.
So by faith, Abraham, right? Everybody know the story of Abraham. The Lord told Abraham to sacrifice his only son, Isaac. He took him out in the woods or wherever. You know what I'm saying? He was going to sacrifice him, being obedient to the Most High. The Most High sent the ram. He did not have to do it, right? But by faith, when Abraham was tried to he offered up Isaac, and he that received the promises offered up his only begotten son. Keep going.
Son of God, verse 18, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Right? So, like, think about this, right? The Lord had already told Abraham, first of all, this is his only son, right? Because the Lord had told him that this is the one that your seed was going to be called. This is the only seed you had. No matter how many sons you got, this is the one that I chose. This is the one that you know what I'm saying, that's going to grow and make this thing happen, right? Keep going.
Verse 19, accounting that God was able to raise him up, even from the dead.
Wait 1 second. It's saying Abraham took Isaac and was willing to offer him as a sacrifice to the Most High because he knew that God was able to raise him up from the dead. Keep going.
Oh God. From whence also he received him in a figure.
So from whence also he received him in a figure. Here's the question. Where did Abraham receive Isaac from?
Lucky.
Go ahead.
He received them from the Most High?
Yes. That's not the answer. Where did Abraham receive him from? It's right there in the scripture.
Oh. Lucky.
Go ahead.
By his seed?
Yeah, remember what this class is about, right?
Oh.
What you have to do, or where's your spirit coming from, or where was your spirit at before you were born?
With the Most High, sir.
What happened before your spirit got with the Most High? I'm going to read this for you, and I'm going to ask the question again. I want to make sure you understand. We ain't making up nothing. This is the scriptures, right? This is Psalms chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath. They die and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. What happened before the Most High sent forth that spirit and they were created? Go ahead, sis. Death. That's it. That's what happened. It says right there that the Lord was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. Jeremiah Hyman started getting good where he brings an onion and shows the onion growing out of an onion and shows the potato growing out of potato and the new potatoes growing out of old dead potato and the new onions growing out of old dead onion. Something has to die in order for you to live. That's how it works. That's how it works. Trooper, you understand or no?
I don't count, sir.
You think that's a reach? Is that a reach? I got that one from Captain Cesariak. That's a reach. I'll get better at explaining it. If you don't understand, just let me know. All right. Let's see. Give me Ecclesiastes 4 and no, I don't want to do that one. 4 and no, I'm gonna leave it right there. Right. So we had, I'll just do a little recap. We had Ecclesiastes, where we was talking about there's no new thing under the sun. And then we had Ecclesiastes 6, where it's talking about this thing has been named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit return to the Most High. Psalms 104 shows that after it goes to the Most High, he sends it back to renew the earth. Right? We talked about in Malachi how the Lord prophesied he was going to send Elijah. Right? And then after when Christ was speaking, he was saying that John the Baptist was Elijah. So the Lord did do what he said he was going to do. And remember, Elijah was born as a baby, right? Into the earth. Same way everybody else is born. This thing is not really hard to break down. You just have to break yourself out of thinking that when you born into the earth, you are a brand new thing, right? There's nothing new under the sun, and the thing that has been is that which shall be. Anybody got any questions on this? Nobody got no questions? Y'all got it?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Why was Isaac his only son? Like, I didn't really understand that.
Okay, that's another topic, right? All right, I'm gonna go into it. I'll answer it. I just wanted to make sure nobody had any questions on this topic. Hey, it's a sister that's in the chat on YouTube, right? I don't even want to say your name, but you are the wife of Masha, right? You got your old name up there. I want to see if you can get yourself a joint with your Hebrew name on it. Check with your husband. Make sure that's cool. All right, so Shaya got a question. Also, Razan, that was Razan that just asked that question, right?
Okay.
Ask the question again.
Why did it say that Isaac was Abraham's only son?
Even though he had other sons, or at that time?
Even like, because I could have sworn Abraham had Ishmael, I think.
Right. That's
I
correct.
was just saying, like, why? Yeah. I was just saying, why did it say that was his only son?
Why is the Most High love Jacob and hate Esau? They came from the same mother and father, right? What did Esau do? What did Esau do to make the Lord hate him?
He gave up his birthright for
Is that when the Lord started hating him? So if he had Ishmael, then why didn't the Lord choose Ishmael? He was the firstborn of Abraham, right? That's your question that I'm asking back to you, or because I was asking it from a teaching perspective, like you knew the answer. Are you saying that was your original question?
That was my original question. Like,
okay,
Ishmael was his.
All right, no sweat. All right, so give me Romans chapter 9, right? Give me verse 6. And we'll go through it a little bit. Shaya, what do you mean by the one death? Where's the one death? Oh, you talking about it's appointed to a man once to die? You either put it in the chat if that's what you're talking about, where it says it's appointed to a man once to die, and after that, the judgment. All right? You got it, Razan?
Okay.
Go ahead and start right there at verse 6.
Okay. Romans chapter 9, verse 6. Not as though the word of God hath taken none effect. For they are not Israel, which are of Israel.
Wait a minute. How they gonna not be Israel, but they of Israel? What kind of sense that make? Razan, can you explain that to me?
Okay. So basically, not everybody is just because they came from the seed of Isaac, the seed of Jacob, doesn't mean that they are Israel.
Yes. Why are they not all Israel?
Because the Most High chose Jacob and not Esau.
No. It say all Israel. Esau ain't got nothing to do with this. We ain't even talking about him right now. Why is not all Israel Israel?
Not too sure.
Not too sure. Anybody want to help the brother out? Anybody know? Go ahead.
Is it because
Hold on one second, Mashamar. Hold on one second, Mashamar. I got somebody in the class that's trying to answer. Go ahead.
Is it because like those who are Israelites by nature, they're not Israel because they don't follow the commandments?
She says because they don't follow the commandments. What you was about to say, Mashamar?
Basically the same thing.
All right, give me Romans 8 and 9 Mashamar. Give me that. Romans 8 and 9. And then also Dawashah, can you give me John 1 and 13? You got it, Mashamar?
I got the Romans 8.
Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8, verse 9. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit.
Hold on. So
If
this thing right here, right? What we talking about, right? Based on the flesh, Isaac was Abraham's son and therefore was heir to the promises of Abraham. You see that, right? But look, here you go. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. Spiritually, right? And this is what we talking about when we talking about the Most High. Spiritually, Abraham was Isaac was Abraham's only son. He might have had 8, he might have had 11. I heard that. I don't know where that scripture at for me to back that up, but I know he had more than one because we know about Ishmael, right? Spiritually, though, because of the Most High, Isaac was his only son. Now, what we read right now, it says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. Keep going.
If so, be that the spirit of the power dwell in you.
If so, right, be that the spirit of the power or the spirit of God dwell in you. Keep going.
Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ.
Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ, what?
He is none of his.
He is none of his. Now, remember in Hosea what the Lord said. I will call those that was my people and tell them they not my people. And I am not their God. The Lord disowned us because of what we did. Now, this ain't happened with Esau. Esau wasn't disowned for what he did. The Lord said he hated him before he was even born. What the world? Wait a minute. Why is it like that? So listen what I'm saying. Like, all Israel ain't even Israel. You from the bloodline of Israel, the seed that the Lord chose and made and said was the greatest people in the earth, right? But all of y'all that's of that bloodline ain't even counted as Israel. Let me tell you who is. Thawshab, you got the script? This is who is.
You want me to start at verse
12? I thought it was 12. It might be 13. One on. He came unto his own.
It's verse 11.
All right, yeah,
John,
give me that one.
chapter 1, verse 11. John chapter 1, verse 11. He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
He came to his own. Who is this he, Razan? Who is the he that came to his own?
Christ.
This is Christ, right? Christ came to his own, and his own received him not. Keep going.
But as many as received him.
But the ones that did received him, keep going.
To them gave he power to become the sons of God.
Those are the ones that had the opportunity to become the sons of God. So he came to his own, which was Israelites, and his own received him not. Not all Israelites received Christ, but the ones that did gave him the power to become the sons of God. Yasha Allah, princes of the power, sons of God. So all Israel ain't Israel. If you have not the spirit of Christ, you are none of his. You following me, Razan?
Come, sir.
All right. So now Why is it like that? Let's go back to Romans 9 where I had you reading that. I hope you kept your spot there. Where was we at? Verse 7? You can start at verse 6 again. Go ahead and read it.
On concept. Romans chapter 9, verse 6. Not as though the word of God hath taken none effect. For they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
You understand that now?
On concept.
Okay, keep going.
On con. Verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children.
There it is right there. That's what you was talking about, right? Why he had more seeds than just Isaac? Why is only Isaac his seed? Keep reading.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Because the Most High said this, in Isaac shall your seed be called. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God.
Wait a minute. They that are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. You got a lot of people who be around here talking about, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of such, 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 and ain't keeping none of the damn commandments. What sense does that make? That you are chosen by the Most High if you are not signed up and locked in his covenant. If you don't have the Spirit of Christ, you none of his, right? Thou shalt, you still holding that John where we was at? Go ahead and read where we was at, verse 12. Give me 12 and 13.
John chapter 1, verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God.
So as many as did receive Christ, them gave he power to become the sons of God. Keep going.
Even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God.
This is it right here, right? Your mama and your daddy made you. That's why you're an Israelite. But now when he's talking about being the sons of God, this ain't something that got something to do with your flesh at all. It starts there. Now you have to be an Israelite to be the son or the daughter of God. You got to start there. But this thing right here is spiritual. This is spiritual. Spiritually, Isaac was Abraham's only child because the Most High chose Isaac. Through Isaac shall your seed be called. Esau wasn't born. Jacob wasn't born first. Esau was. He could have got the inheritance. But the Lord had already told his mama before it was born that this is what's going on and this is what I want to happen. Jacob's going to get the inheritance. Now, you asking why? Because that's what the Lord said. But we're going to read it in the scriptures. Keep reading, Razan. Was there any more to that? That was it, right?
Oh, God.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Razan.
Oh, God. Verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
Okay.
For this is the word of the promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil.
You see that?
That the purpose of God.
Keep going. Keep going.
That the purpose of God, according to election.
According to what? Stand. According to what?
Election.
Okay.
Might stand.
If we elect a leader, if we elect a governor, if we elect a president, what did we do?
We like it.
Yep.
We chose.
We chose them. God chose Isaac. God chose Jacob. You see that word election right there? He elected them. And not only this, so now he was talking about Isaac, right? Even though Ishmael was there, he said, the Lord said, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That means the children, all of the children that was of the flesh, those was not the children of God, but the children of the promise. The Lord made promises to individuals are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time I will come and Sarah shall have a son. That was the promise. Not, what's Ishmael mama name? Hagar. Not Hagar shall have a son. Not only this, he did it again with Rebekah, who also conceived by one, even our father Isaac. So he did it again right after that. The firstborn did not receive the promise or the inheritance. Wait a minute. The children wasn't even born yet. Neither had they done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election, to who he chose, might stand. Keep going.
Oh God. Not of work.
Can't do nothing.
But of him that calleth.
Of him that calleth. Go ahead.
Oh God. Verse 12. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Keep going.
Oh God. Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?
Is God unrighteous? Is God unrighteous because Ishmael didn't get the inheritance of Abraham, or because Esau, both of them was the firstborn, but the Lord elected or chose the one that came after him? Does that mean that God is unrighteous? God forbid. Here's the answer to your question. Keep reading.
Oh God. Verse 15. For he saith to Moses.
This is what he told Moses.
I will have.
Go ahead.
I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So then, it is not of him that willeth.
Right.
Nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy.
There it is right there. He chooses who he want to choose, right? You, your brother, your sister, your daddy, your mama, all of these people had an opportunity for the Lord to pull them up out of the streets, pull them up out of the world and say to them, I need you to come and do this for me. But he ain't choose them. He chose you. I don't know for the death of me why my mama ain't get chose to come into the truth, but I did. Right? Why my homeboys was chose to go into the grave and I was not. I don't know. I don't understand it. But it ain't him that willeth or him that runneth. So ain't nothing I did. It was the Lord having mercy on me. And this same thing applies with these brothers and their kids. You understand it? It's because the Lord chose. Right. So it goes on to talk about even he raising up Pharaoh to be the greatest nation on the planet just so he can drown his soldiers in the Red Sea. That's what happened. So sometimes he choose you, but he don't choose you for what you want. You understand, huh?
I don't want concert.
All right, no sweat. Shaya, you might have missed it, right? So you could back it up and I'll break it all the way down when it's talking about the Hebrews 9:27 and is appointed unto man once to die. But after this, the judgment is in Ecclesiastes. It says, I saw under the sun the place of judgment is in the earth. The death is when your spirit and your body separate from each other. That is Ecclesiastes, I believe, 6. It might be 12. Ecclesiastes 12. Could be. Let me see. Let me make sure. So this is talking about a literal death. This is not talking about spiritually dying. Yes, Ecclesiastes 12. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. This is literally a man dying, right? That man is never coming back on the earth again. You die, it ain't no more Shaya. That nigga's gone. Your spirit goes back to the Most High. Psalms 104 says he renews the face of the earth with that spirit. Come back as a baby, whole nother parents, whole nother name, whole nother life to live. Sometimes you are judged based on what you did. The other one, by what situation you come back in. That's the place of judgment happening within the earth. If you need to go any deeper than that, you could just back up the scriptures. Any other questions? No other questions? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. I just have one last question around Genesis. It was Genesis 16 and 12. It was regarding Ishmael, where it said, he shall dwell with his brethren. And I was just trying to understand what that meant.
Genesis 16 and 12. Let me get there. Genesis 16 and 12. Verse 12. Go ahead to verse 11.
Genesis chapter 12, verse 11. Genesis chapter 16, verse 11. And the angel of the Yahweh said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh hath heard thy affliction.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be a wild man.
He'll be a what?
It's him. He will be a wild man.
Hey, you ever see how the Arabs be running in with this bomb strapped to themselves, or you see them dancing around with their you see them dancing around with their AK. They got a video where they done put some rap song with them niggas dancing around with their AKs, shooting up in the air. He's a wild man, right? Ishmael's a wild man. Go ahead.
Oh God. His hand will be against every man.
Uh-oh. He don't care about nobody. He don't see it. He about that life. Go ahead.
Oh God. And every man's hand against him.
Yeah, you see that. Keep going.
And he shall dwell. Oh God. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
No matter what. You could love him or hate him or whatever, right? He right in your face. He ain't high. He ain't going nowhere. You can't get rid of him. You can't do nothing with him. He a wild man within the earth, right? It's twofold. He right in your face, and he got all his brothers with him. They ready. What this is talking about is Ishmael being, even though everybody's hand against him and his hand against everywhere else, he's still in the presence of his brethren. And it's saying that it's loosely based on the 18 nations of the earth who all came from Adam. You get it or no?
You kind of content, like, so like, if I may.
Yep.
like the Arab is always got a store
everywhere.
In the hood.
Yeah.
Every gas station. Everything.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in the white people neighborhood too. He thought it was just yours.
Yeah, come.
He everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in Africa too.
Africa, he everywhere. And nobody don't want him there. And they can't do nothing about it. They hand against him, his hand against them too. And he's still right there in their face. Hey, and you never hear about no Ishmael getting shot in the streets or killed and none of that. Because they know Ishmael is a wild man. He is not about to set them off. You got it?
Okay.
Any other questions? Don't sound crazy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. More than likely, they'll be starting the class from down at the school, right? If you didn't listen, regenerate is still. Just call me and ask that question, Shaya. All right, we'll talk about it. With that, I'm gonna say shalom. Y'all Bashim Shabbat Thumb, How Shema Alatham, Bashim Yahushua.